Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. Let's talk about John Egan, shall we? Yes, everybody, a very happy Thursday to you. I hope everyone is safe and well. If you didn't see, last night we had Jimmy on, Jimmy Walker and Ian from E13 Events. An evening with Jimmy Walker, well, half an evening because Jimmy's phone cut out, but he was back for the end. But a great chat with Jimmy ahead of his book and book launch, which is happening in October. E13 Events, check it out. It's going to be a bit of fun. It sounds like it's going to be a bit of a piss up, in all honesty. And then this morning we spoke about someone in the comments asked about from previous videos about finances and stuff like that. So we tried to break it down for you guys in terms of how much we've spent, particularly in terms of the wage bill. That's the thing that, because it's that sort of 60-70% in terms of wage to profit to income, rather. That's what we need to sort of keep an eye on. And, you know, in all intents and purposes, we're better off we were at the end of last season in terms of we've actually saved about £4 million across the year. So that was thanks to Sean Wheatston on Twitter, who did all the number crunching for me. But hopefully I broke it down for you guys. So check that out. But I want to talk about John Egan because obviously there is space in this squad, and we know we are actively looking at the free transfer market, and it's sort of a sort of the worst kept secret that we're looking for a centre half from the free transfer market to come in and be that sort of fourth choice centre half. In essence, as I said, it's that sort of Angelo Ogbonna role, which you think about it, why don't we just keep him? That's why I think this was a bit of a last minute thing rather than necessarily part of the plan. I think for the rest of the transfer window, I think it's been part of the plan, but I think this bit sort of took us a bit by surprise. The fact that Zuma and Egan both leaving pretty much on deadline day left us a little bit short. And people are saying, yeah, what about Kalen? I don't think, personally, my opinion, I don't think he's at the level to move up at the moment. At the moment, you know, people develop at different ages and stuff like that. But we'll talk about the academy a bit later on in Hammer's headlines, because we'll talk about Lewis Orford. We'll also talk about some of the young guns, young England guns who have been representing their country in over the internationals. Obviously, we've still got another international week to go. But according to reports by X, amongst others, John Egan is going to be involved in a behind closed doors friendly with Dagenham Redbridge this week. Potentially today, although we don't get that's unconfirmed, but it could be today. So I thought let's have a look into him, and there's been a lot of hoo-ha about John. You know, some people saying, "Oh, I feel a bit underwhelmed" and stuff like that, and I get that totally. But remember, Craig Dawson. That's why every one of these sort of transfers, whether they're new guys, old guys, I take them all on board because you never know. You never know. And what could be a very shrewd signing. I mean, we all laughed when we signed Craig Dawson, didn't we? And, you know, yes, ironically, the last time John Egan played at London Stadium, he did his Achilles or his cruciate ligament or something like that when he's playing for Sheffield United. So he hasn't got the best memories of recent times at West Ham. But I think he would be a very useful squad player for West Ham. Very useful in terms of just being able to just, very similar to the whole idea of Wes Fodringham. You know, he's not going to get many games, if not any, but if worse comes to worse, he's experienced enough to not be overwhelmed and can just slot in. And I think that could be the same with John as well. So, you know, he's well experienced. You know, someone put in the comments, you know, 70-odd Premier League appearances, 30-odd international appearances. You can't turn your nose up at that. You know, so and I agree. So what I've done is done my little all you need to know about John. And hopefully after that, we'll come back, have a debrief, and then leave you on your merry way. So here is all you need to know about John Egan. That's all you need to know about John Egan. He does come across like Craig Dawson, really. And so, you look at his aerial threats. He seems he's been around. He's been a bit of a journeyman. And what I think was really interesting about that little sort of video is captain material. He's captained his country, more experience, more captainship. Granted, not probably as experienced as some other people in terms of Premier League. Look at Joel Matip. Joel Matip played twice as many Premier League games than John Egan has. But I just think it's not the disaster that everyone's talking about. I think he seems a decent on a free transfer, and he's not going to cost the world. We've even I think what I was talking about is in the morning show was if we offered a free transfer 77 grand a week, we'd be spending the same as what we spent last in terms of the wages, what we saved. He's not going to command 77 grand, is he? So we'll still come out with a decent saving on our wage bill, regardless of the fact that we brought in 10, will be 10 players. Obviously, we got rid of 13 technically in terms of loan spells. But I think it's not with the Craig Dawson signing and the transfer and the cult hero status he became in a very short amount of time. I think I can see similar things happening with John. He scored a few goals as well, particularly I think it was Gillingham or something. He scored quite a few goals for someone who's a centre half. But he just gives us that cover and gives us that experience. And I think as I said, we were linked with him last year as well. Definitely, I remember talking about him when we were looking for that sort of. I think it was like a third or fourth choice before I think they got Mavropanos, or it might have been after Mavropanos to get the fourth one in when there was talk about maybe a Ged or Zuma going then to the Saudi Pro League. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. As I said, he's due to be behind closed door, be involved in a behind closed doors friendly this week. Apparently could be today. Like, he's a bit gloomy, so I'll be surprised they do. They don't like the rain, do they, these football players? And obviously others will be involved who haven't travelled with their international clubs. As you saw in the West Ham put out a YouTube video yesterday, a training vid, which had the likes of Carlos Soler in there. It had a very, very rapid-looking Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And also a lot of the under 21s were involved. Judy Robinson was involved. Cam Schweiber was involved. Ollie Scholes was there as well. So yeah, I can imagine you see a lot of that in this. Although we wouldn't see the actual friendly, but I'm sure there'll be reports coming out from X or people who are keeping an eye over the fence. But yes, apparently John is going to be involved in that. And the decision apparently is going to be maybe by the end of the international break, because obviously by then we have to then register our squads to the Premier League. The likelihood is we'll get, I think, 122 or 23. So the likelihood is we would bring in someone like John Egan, and then we'd probably have to register Louise Howe as well, as he would be over the age of 21, so had to be registered. You wouldn't have to register Luis Guilherme because obviously he's under the age of 18. Same with people like Ollie Scars and people like that; they're under the age of 21, so you don't have to be registered in the first team squad. But yeah, all good. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Hammers headlines. We'll talk about Lewis Orford, obviously signing a 5-year deal. Unfortunately, he's injured as well now, so we'll talk about that. And also some of the international players on duty, mainly focusing on the academy players because they don't get as much high profile as the first team. Much love. Bye-bye.